Chapter: A Night to Remember. The streets were alive with the glow of neon lights and the rhythmic pulse of music that spilled out of the bustling club. The air carried the mingling scent of excitement and anticipation as people from all walks of life gathered at the city's newest hotspot. It was the place to be, and Prince Kwaku, now a man of confidence and worldly knowledge, walked into the scene with his best friend, John Lubon, by his side. Inside, the club was a kaleidoscope of energy. The dance floor was packed with bodies moving in sync to the beat of a popular track, while others perched at high tables or lounged in plush VIP booths. The bar stretched along one side of the club, a hub of activity where bartenders flipped bottles with flair and poured colorful cocktails. Kwaku and John found their spot at the bar, each with a glass of whiskey in hand. Kwaku's sharp, tailored attire caught the light as he leaned casually against the counter, his sharp eyes observing the scene. He sipped his drink and exchanged laughs with John as they commented on the dancers and the ambience of the vibrant crowd. Nearby, two young men stood at the bar, engaged in quiet conversation. Something about them caught Kwaku's attention, their features, mannerisms, and style bore a striking resemblance to his own. A faint sense of familiarity sparked within him, though he couldn't quite place it. One of the men glanced over and locked eyes with Kwaku. For a moment, there was a pause, as if an unspoken connection passed between them. Intrigued, Kwaku raised his glass slightly in a friendly gesture, and the two men reciprocated with nods and subtle smiles. John noticed the exchange and nudged Kwaku playfully. "Looks like you've got some twin brothers you never knew about," he joked. Kwaku laughed, shaking his head. "Maybe. Or maybe they're just curious like I am." The two men eventually approached, their confident strides cutting through the crowded bar. One of them extended a hand toward Kwaku. "I couldn't help but notice you. You have this presence about you. Are you from around here?" Kwaku shook his hand firmly, a polite smile on his lips. "Not originally. I'm from a place far from here. My name is Kwaku." The men introduced themselves as Mike and Samuel, both students like Kwaku. Their conversation flowed naturally, from their studies and ambitions to their shared experiences navigating life in a foreign land. It turned out they had all been to some of the same spots in the city and shared mutual acquaintances. Before long, the four of them were laughing, exchanging stories, and clinking their glasses. The night seemed brighter, the club livelier, as Kwaku realized he had made new connections, kindred spirits who shared his drive and adaptability. As the evening went on, Kwaku couldn't shake the feeling that meeting these men was no coincidence. Perhaps the journey that brought him here was still unfolding in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. The music continued, the night deepened, and amidst the laughter and camaraderie, Kwaku felt a renewed sense of belonging. This city, once strange and intimidating, was now a place where he was carving out a life, one unforgettable moment at a time. Chapter: Brotherhood and a Brave Heart. The club's electric atmosphere buzzed with life, but tension suddenly shattered the lively scene when a young man, caught in the sea of bodies, accidentally bumped into Penny. She was stunning, dressed in a shimmering gown that demanded attention, but her presence came with an air of danger. Penny belonged to a powerful drug dealer, and her looming bodyguards wasted no time unleashing their wrath on the hapless stranger. Kwaku, sipping his drink at the bar, watched as the young man was knocked to the ground, fist raining down on him. Disapproval flickered across his face. "This is wrong," he said, his voice firm, standing as if ready to intervene. John quickly grabbed his arm. "Don't. You have no idea who she is or who they are. These people are dangerous, Kwaku. Stay out of this." Reluctantly, Kwaku sat back down, but his eyes stayed fixed on the unfolding scene. As John continued trying to dissuade him, the two men Kwaku had just met, Mike and Samuel, stepped into the fray. "Leave him alone," Mike shouted, but their courage was no match for the guards' brute force. They, too, were overpowered in seconds. Something inside Kwaku snapped. Ignoring John's protest, he leapt into action. His fist flew, and his agility allowed him to duck and dodge some of the blows, but he still bore the brunt of the guards' retaliation. Blood trickled from a cut above his brow, and his shirt tore in the scuffle. He managed, however, to create just enough chaos for his friends to drag the injured man outside and call the police. As the sound of sirens grew closer, the club erupted into panic. Penny and her entourage disappeared into the crowd, leaving the scene in disarray. The fight was over, but Kwaku stood amidst the wreckage, bruised and battered. "It was a close one," he muttered as John and the others rejoined him. Under discovering kinship, the group walked along the quiet roadside, the cool night air offering solace after the chaos. Kwaku wiped his bloodied forehead with a handkerchief, wincing slightly. "Where are you from?" he asked Mike and Samuel, his curiosity piqued by their features that so closely mirrored his own. As they spoke, Kwaku's heart swelled with realization. These men were from his village, brothers he had never met but had always heard about. They were among the young men his father had sent abroad years ago to study, tasked with bringing back knowledge to elevate their homeland. The revelation stunned them. "You're the crown prince," Samuel exclaimed, his voice tinged with awe. Both men dropped to one knee, bowing in respect. "Please, there's no need for that," Kwaku said, lifting them to their feet. "We are all from the same home." The conversation flowed easily after that. Mike and Samuel shared their experiences, how they had completed their education, found work in prestigious companies, but had been hesitant to return to the village. "We didn't think we could make a difference," Mike admitted. Kwaku's voice was resolute. "My father believed in you. That's why he sent you. And now, he's placed his hope in me to continue the dream. Our village deserves progress, roads, schools, health facilities. Together, we can make it happen." His words stirred something in the men. Kwaku's bravery and unwavering dedication to their shared homeland ignited a spark of hope. "You saved us tonight without hesitation," Samuel said. "If you believe we can do this, then we'll stand with you." A return home. Kwaku spent the next year sharpening his skills, learning not just theory but practical ways to bring development to his village. His bond with Mike and Samuel deepened, and their collective resolve grew stronger. When the time finally came, Kwaku and his newfound brothers set sail for home. They carried with them not just knowledge and experience, but a vision for a brighter future. As the village came into view, Kwaku's heart swelled with pride. The journey had been long, the challenges immense, but he had returned not just as a prince, but as a leader with a team ready to build a legacy.